Wait. Hold on. Stop the show. I have a new intro. For the bear wolf. Let's see it. If that does not want to make you go out and go raiding, I don't know what will. What will. Man, guys, I'm still riding the high of watching the Northman film. We're going to get into spoilers here very, very soon. I've got a couple announcements. We're going to go over the show schedule. And then we'll just get right into it, because I want to gush, like literally gush over this thing. And, you know, hey, everyone's been saying great things about it. Everyone's been saying, yeah, it was a great film. You know, it was a good film. No. Hold on. I need you guys to take me seriously when I say this. I've been waiting for something like this for years now. So the fact that we got it is amazing. And I'm so thankful that, let me bring the chat in here, because you guys are too funny. Salty saying, oh, the MV penis is getting ready to gush. Boys, that's right. That's right. Derpy Gaming, how was the Northman? How good was the Northman? More like it. How excellent was the Northman? Truly an experience, my man. Thank you everyone for being here and being in the chat. We have got a great show tonight, I promise. We've got Purple Valkyrie, Roman of the Empire, A Trouble Green, Cajun Corey, X11 Bravo, Shield Wall of Dragons, Salty Texas Sea. Who else we got? Did I already say Alasia? Tugs, I'm sorry you can't stay. Go watch the film and come back and rewatch this. I think you're gonna have a great time. Nose for Act 2. Who else we got? I think I've got everyone. Monopoly Loser. Hello. And Ash. Hello, Ash. Great to see you. Well, let's do this. I gotta turn my headphones down a bit. How is everything sounding for you guys? Music good? Microphone good? Everything? Sound quality, video quality good? Remember, this is still, I mean, granted, we're 6 episodes in now to Max's Man Cave and still figuring out the logistics of the new software, but so far, I've really been loving this. Not only does this give me a chance to hang out with you guys, but it gives me a chance to like get better at this live streaming thing, you know, honing my craft creatively and being able to just get better in that realm of things, because technology has never been my strong suit. So yeah. All right, Monopoly says, so far, so good. Good. Well, let's do this then. Let's check on our man, Gideon. Look at him. He's looking good. He always looks good. He looks better than me. Let's just be real. So always good to see him. And then let me get into announcements real quick. So the first thing I wanted to mention, because I, as well as a lot of other people, have been kind of waiting. Oh, Wayne, thank you. Says looks and sounds perfect. Thank you, brother. Yes, Roman, I am a Marine, and we tend to not do very well with technical stuff. We use our hands. Come on. But so for our announcements tonight, essentially, first thing I wanted to say was I have been waiting very patiently, and I know you guys have been super patient with this as well. But monetization, I am still waiting for YouTube to get back with me. I have already applied, and I have already created my account and profile through AdSpace and everything. And it takes a good amount of time for YouTube to look at my channel and see if these videos are something that they want to promote or give money to. So in that case, it takes a while to fully look through my videos, look at the content I'm producing, and then make a decision as to whether they want to monetize me or not, which means that I can make money off of this thing that we do on YouTube. So Shield Wall, no, Gideon hasn't moved from last stream. You are correct. And yeah, Monopoly, he is living the life. Absolutely, man. So as far as monetization goes, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Still waiting, but you will be the first ones to know, I promise. One, because you guys are the sole supporters of this thing and have given me the opportunity to hang out with you guys and talk with you guys and create this family. So obviously that's number one and why you guys will be alerted first. And two, I don't really have any friends in the area that I can go hang out with and go, hey guys, I just got monetized. Let's go do something. So yeah, that's pretty much why. Next on the list, June. If you guys are free, June 17th through the 19th, I want to see everyone who is in Texas. Anyone who's within the area, let's grab a beer, let's get some food, let's go to Comic-Con. It's gonna be me, Gary's wife Melissa, Gina Carano's gonna be there. She's gonna be doing a signing at the Comic-Con. And I think we're gonna try and do a little meetup. Quarter Black, I think, is gonna be there. So yeah, 17th through the 19th, Texas meetup. Let's see you guys there. I would love to hang out with everyone and buy a beer for everyone. So I know my man Salty Texas is gonna be there. Salty, you're gonna have to bring like a cardboard box or something for me to stand on, because I don't want to look short next to you. So poor Mike, thank you for saying that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, Lage, it's all right. We have friends here, and that's what counts. So yes, Texas meetup, June 17th through the 19th. Next, August meetup. This is the big one. This is the Vegas meetup. This is FNT, Geeks and Gamers, MVPness. It's all going to be out. It's all going to be there. We're going to have everyone, as many people as we can at the Vegas meetup. It's going to be awesome. Ash, I would love to come to Orlando. I had to choose between Orlando and Texas, though, and Texas is closer and I have more family there, so I'm going to be going to Texas. But I know you guys are going to have a blast in Orlando, so thank you, Salty. Bring the same box that Tom Cruise uses, or at least the same camera angle. You know, they make him look like he's 6'5". Jinja Ninja, hail, dude. Hail all the way from Japan. Thanks for being here. So, yeah, so August, the plan right now, the dates are the 17th through the 21st, if I'm not mistaken. I need to verify that with Gary as well, but as of right now, 17th, 21st, Vegas, baby. It's happening. It's going down. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Yeah, so I'm really excited and looking forward to that. So the big ones, June, August, Texas, Vegas. I cannot wait to see everyone out there. And then the last thing, as far as announcements go, I have been super busy today. Today has been an absolute onslaught of just work and comments and calls and getting set up for the stream and everything. So with that being said, I am so sorry if I have not gotten back to you on your Twitter messages or Instagram messages. I promise that I will get back to them as soon as I can. But I just want to give everyone that heads up so that if you're left in the dust and you're waiting for your comment or your message to be answered, I am so sorry that I haven't been able to do that. Also because I tend to look at my phone, post something, and then like toss my phone away and go do something else. So so I do apologize if I haven't gotten back to you guys. Let's see. Oh, a Manitoba Meetup. That's pretty rad. Yeah, those plane prices. Ooh, boy, I am not looking forward to seeing how those prices are. Yeah, Elias, those massage parlors, they'll get you. They will get you. I think did I miss someone up here? Oh, Thad, the Thad that shouldn't be. What's up, dude? Great to see you. I want to go to a meetup, but you'll have to drug me if you want me to do anything fun. Lage, we will get you to a meetup. Don't you worry about that. We are gonna get you there. Hey, if we can try and get Az there, we can get you there. If Az can hop across the pond, we can get you there. Okay. I think that's it for announcements, guys. And it looks like Roman from last week had donated $5. And I just wanted to get to that real quick before we keep going. He says, sorry I missed the show. Congratulations on 1,000, my brother. I was meeting up with a high school buddy. Hadn't seen in 34 years. Jeez, Roman, that's awesome. Wow. That is so cool, man. I'm glad to hear that you got to hang out with him then. Well worth it. And thank you for the 5. And Roman again with $5 says, greetings, Max's Man Cave Dwellers. At your recommendation, my son and I saw the Northman. It was fantastic. The score and the sound were amazing. I now have negative body image because of Alexander Skarsgård. Looking forward to tonight's show. Hail to you, Roman. Dude, already you're on fire. Thank you so much for sending that in. That is very, very kind of you. So, my friend here, speaking of Northman. Hail to you, Roman. Thank you, dude, for the donation. That is very, very kind. And speaking of, oh my gosh, you guys are on fire. Here, let me do this. I'll read these real quick, and then we'll get into the review. So, 15 minutes in, I promise we'll start getting into it. Cajun Corey for $5 doesn't give a message or anything, but Cajun, thank you for the 5. For you, my friend, I'll give you some of this. Thank you so much, Ragin' Cajun Corey, my man. Harley Dave is in the chat. What's up, dude? Great to see you. Purple, you better come to one of these meetups as well. You better be there. Salty Texas C for $2. He says, your strength breaks men's bones. I have the cunning to break their minds. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. That's a strong woman right there. We finally got a strong female character. Wouldn't you? What could have possibly had them put a strong female character? And guess what? She is extremely feminine and uses her femininity to her strength, as her strength. Fantastic. My man, Salty, this one's for you.
I bid you stand, man of the West!
Hello to my cousin, Harley Dave. For those of you who may know, I am like 50% Swedish, which means that most of you who have some sort of Nordic Swedish Danish blood within you are probably my cousins and my long lost family members. So I must. So Harley and I were laughing about that the other day. So let's see. And then lastly, we have for $10, dude, that is awesome. Michael S. for review part 1. He says, "Hail Max and chat, The Northman is tremendous movie for many reasons. Personally, Robert Eggers' style and the cinematography of the film make The Northman a cinematic experience from start to finish." Dude, Michael, I could not agree with you more. And for that, I shall give you this.
Strength and honor. Strength and honor.
What we doing live? Echoes in eternity.
Oh man, you guys are so excellent. Thank you so much for all the donations. That is very, very kind and such great words from you guys. So I appreciate it. Okay. Speaking of Michael, as he was talking about experience, this is an experience. Like, I kid you not. Like, some people will say, like, if you go to see, like, The Lord of the Rings in theater, for me, was an experience. I felt like I was there. Northman, of course, is not Lord of the Rings. I'm not trying to make that parallel, but it is another film that is an experience. It grabs you by the throat, and it takes you along the ride with the characters. It just goes, hey, come on, you're coming with me, and we're going through this experience together. It is unbelievable the amount of passion and energy that I felt while being in the theater and thinking to myself, I'm part of this world. Like, I'm not in a theater seat watching this thing with a coffee. I'm literally in 13th century Iceland, because that's where he later goes, as we find out. It looks like the lovely Sherry is in the chat. Hello, great to see you. Thank you for being here. And Jaden Hamilton, what's up, dude? Just got done watching some good old Superman. Oh, classic Superman animated series, man. One of the goats, one of the best. Yeah, Arlie says big fan. Well, thanks for being here, guys. That's excellent. But yeah, so really, like, there are few films that I can say are experiences. There are spectacles, and then there's experiences. A Marvel film is a spectacle. You know, Marvel Infinity War or Avengers Infinity War or Avengers Endgame. Spectacles. You go and watch it for the popcorn factor. You go and watch it to be wowed. It's like a roller coaster. It's this big, monstrous thing. You ride it, you get off, you're like, man, that was a fun time. We'll do it again. But Northman is an experience. It is like, you have to be there in order to understand the weight, the plight, the struggle, the absolute hardship that this man goes through. And yes, Flaccid, I saw that in the chat. In the theater with a coffee, I 100% have a coffee when I go to the theater. I know it's weird. Some people do Slurpees or like Cokes or something. I'm a coffee guy. So, Jinja, I agree, dude. Sucks you into the world, and I'm still in it. And I saw it a week ago. 100%. That's why in my review, I was even saying, I was like, I've been listening to the soundtrack like non-stop. I go into the gym and I listen to the soundtrack. I get in my car, I listen to the soundtrack. It is on repeat in my head. So if you guys haven't seen my spoiler-free review, definitely go check it out. If you want a great article that is covered by Purple and Salty. Purple did a live stream this morning that was stellar. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Shout out to Purple and Salty. That was truly a masterpiece of a stream. You guys handled that so well and spoke so brilliantly. You guys must have had 2 coffees or something, or maybe some shamanistic rituals before you got into the stream. But yeah. Zax, I gave Batman a 6 out of 10. after watching this, I'm pretty sure I'm going to give Batman like a 3 out of 10, dude. In my review, if you guys watched it, yeah, such an amazing experience. Didn't do it for me. It was like a 3 out of 10. No, I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. Runtime for the Northman is 2 hours 15 minutes, which is like not bad. I didn't feel the weight of the time. I don't know about you guys, but 2 hours and 15 minutes, I was like, it was perfect. If it were a little bit longer, I would have been like, it's dragging. But if it were a little bit shorter, I would have wanted more. So perfect time frame, in my opinion. Cajun says, gonna be honest, well-made movie, great acting, and the score goes well with the movie. However, I found it a little too weird, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I hoped, but still a good movie. Hey, and that's totally fine, Cajun. I've been finding that with a lot of people that they've been saying, hey, you know, it's a great film. They enjoyed it for the most part, but it was like a little too out there. Whew. If you guys watch Robert Eggers' The Lighthouse, I left that movie being like, I didn't know what to think. Initially I didn't like it because it was so crazy and out there. I was like, I just don't get it. Was weird for weird's sake, and I don't like that. You know, like when art is artsy for art's sake. I didn't appreciate that. But after seeing Northman, it makes so much sense why they would include those. And honestly, I didn't really think it was as weird. Maybe I have to go see it again, but I didn't think it was as weird as a lot of people have been saying it was, I guess. I don't know, maybe because yeah, Shield Wall, I agree, the soundtrack is what did it for me, man. Even the sound design, like the sound mixing of the swords, the shields, the the spears, even the footsteps, or the weight of someone falling, or the ships rowing, like everything, all the sound was like really heavy in this film, which gave it, of course, a lot of weight to it, which made you feel like you were there. So that was really cool. So yeah, back to Robert Eggers though. When I first saw The Lighthouse, I was a little worried that I was like, oh boy, Northman is going to be a trip, an acid trip. But it actually, for me, it didn't feel that way, because oh yeah, The Witch scared the hell out of me too, Jinja. Hot Lady Hero comic recommendation, she must be wearing little to no clothing. Ooh, Jaden, try, I think, did I mention this last time? The Magdalena from Top Cow. Magdalena or Witchblade. There you go. Check them out. Thank me later. Max is taking 3 points off for being a dong tease. It was a weird that I liked. It fit with blending a historical element with legends and mythology. The Lighthouse felt like some of my nights on duty in the Marines. Flaccid, I agree with you there, man. Who so Flaccid, especially like for my military men and women out there, when you get sleep deprived, there's a moment where you start seeing things, or when you feel almost drunk, and that was how Lighthouse felt. Like I felt like I was on some sort of weird trip, or like I wasn't getting enough sleep or rest, and it was just weird as hell. But yeah, Monopoly, like you were saying, man, the weirdness actually felt, it felt like it was deserved, right? Because, and maybe it's just because I've read the sagas, I've read historical like accounts of what Norse mythology looked like and what they believed and how they incorporated that into their daily lifestyle. And dude, it is out there. Lyle Hammock, what's going on, man? Thanks for being here, brother. I appreciate seeing you here. I know I always see you in Salty streams, so great to have you here on Max's Man Cave. So yeah, day 4 is when my brain started seeing things. Day 8, I was psychotic. Elias, I couldn't agree more, man. Once you start hitting that, like after that first week, you start really hitting it. Phil TMNT. What's up, Phil? Great to see you, dude. So the for me, everything that happened, and here's where we'll get into some spoilers. I loved the scene with the zombie skeleton, with the Oofbert sword, which I believe they were speaking of the Oofbert sword, which is in legend this sword that was like unbreakable. It was cast out of the most intense, strongest steel that was in those northern islands, and it was a legend. It was like it had this mythology behind it. And so what was great about that scene, though, is because you see him go underground and you see him grab the sword and the zombie thing comes to life. And you're like, what the fuck is happening? Like, seriously, what is going on? But I was reevaluating it and I looked back, and because after he defeats this vampire zombie, skeleton, and then gains the sword, it spoke to the fact that Amlet never had it easy. Amlet was never going to get anything without going through the struggle of receiving it. We always talk about the hero's journey and how there's always an obstacle that the hero has to face in order to, like a challenge that he has to rise above. And this was just another challenge that he had to rise above. Max, I'd love to see your reading list. I'm always surprised about what you mentioned you read. Sorry, I have no shame. I want to know what everyone reads. I would start with Ragnar Lothbrok's saga. It's hauntingly beautiful, I guess you could say, but that one's a great one as well. But that would probably be the first one I would say that I had read that I would recommend reading as well. Jaden says, all right, I'm going to drop out early. Want to keep myself as spoiled as possible. No worries, Jaden. Thanks for being here, brother. And I'm sorry that you can't stay. But hey, do me a favor. Once you go see it, message me or come back and rewatch the stream because it's brilliant, man. I think you'll really like it. So there was a debate today about whether the Northman will be eligible for any awards. I don't think it can be nominated for an Oscar. They suck. Zach's, and that's what sucks about this, man, is, and I don't want to get off on another tangent here, but I'll just briefly kind of say, whether it wins an award or not, people are going to continually look back at the box office, and they see the box office numbers, and you guys want to know what the box office numbers say? $23 million in its first weekend. That's pathetic. That's absolutely pathetic for a film like this. $23 million. The budget for this was anywhere between 70 and 90 million. And so which means that they would have to make somewhere around 200 million in order to be a little bit above breaking even. Like, they're not even close. And that's what's so sad. Jared, what's going on, brother? Great to see you, dude. That's what's so sad about this, is that this is such a, in my opinion, and I know I'm going to keep saying that and it doesn't mean anything because of course it's my opinion, right? But it's such a well done film, and it means so much to me that I hate the fact that it's not going to get the recognition it deserves. And then what's going to happen, because of the numbers, they're going to look at the numbers and they're going to go, see, no one wants this shit. No one wants a bunch of white guys in Norway fighting over each other. No one wants toxic masculinity. And they're going to call us this and that. And there have already been articles about it, and everyone's been covering those. But that's what's so upsetting, is that this is going to be unfortunate that people don't see it, that it's not going to get the recognition. And then when someone says, hey, we should make another one of these, they're going to point back to the numbers and they're going to say, it didn't make us any money. And people didn't like it or whatever. And that's what's unfortunate. And that's what I wish I could change. So if you guys want to support these indie films, just like we support indie comics, please go see this in the theater. It is a movie that you have to see in theaters, I believe. because of the sound, the surround sound. You have to feel your chair shaking when those drums are coming in and the Viking ships are sailing into port. You have to hear those chants and those drums. So A Man of Manetheren, Northman, is the best movie I've seen in years, and it gets better the more I think about it. Could not agree with you more, Nathan. Nathan, thank you for saying that. The more I talk about it, like even getting ready for this stream, I was excited because I knew I get to talk about this thing more, and I get to explore more of the content of the film itself. So this is the best thing I've seen. I would put this over Avengers Endgame. I liked this more than Avengers Endgame. And that says quite a lot considering what my room looks like. You know what I mean? Like, my whole room is superheroes and comic books. And I liked Northman more than I liked Avengers Endgame. And that's a hot take. People are going to clip that and they're going to be like, dude, Max is just insane. But it tells such a great story. And like I said earlier, this is an experience. It's not a spectacle. Endgame was a spectacle. Everyone had to see the ending, the conclusion of the big Marvel universe, right? It's a spectacle. But this is an experience that you have to be there for yourself to see. Unknown George, what's going on, man? Otherwise known as Atris Miniatures, hail all. I think I saw... How well did this perform compared to The Green Knight? The Green Knight was way more diverse, but had a similar tone. That's a good question, Flaccid. Dude, I don't want to say I hated, but comparatively to this, Green Knight was just convoluted. It was an art. It was too artsy, which is what I was afraid was going to happen with Northman, right? But I honestly didn't think that it fell too far into that hole. There were only 4 of us at noon today. Yeah, man. See, that's the thing. So little marketing. Yep. So maybe that's actually a good thing though, Harley, because if there's little marketing, that means that there wasn't as much money maybe put into it, which means that they might be able to break even on a lower income from the theaters, is what I'm hoping. I'm not sure. Ash, there's a Ragnar Lothbrok saga. If you go on Amazon and type in like Ragnar's saga or something, you'll find it. I believe it has like a blue cover. Oh, you're doing Northman Spoilers. I haven't seen it yet, seeing it later in the week. Yeah, Lyle, if you like, I have a video out on my review, spoiler-free review, or you can hang out and, I'll just say earmuffs and you can head out. But yeah, sorry if I spoiled anything for you, man. The fact the mainstream media is tearing it down tells you all you need to know. Yep. All right, did I miss anyone else? I wanted Green Knight to be good, but the Northman was way better. Agreed, Flaccid. Green Knight was fine. Like I said, it was similar to The Lighthouse in that I left the movie being like, okay, I can see the symbolism. I know what they're trying to do. I can tell that the director is like trying to be very symbolic and have all these analogies and try and tell this like weirder tale. But in the long run, I was just like, I don't care. Like, it was well done and it was beautiful, but it was just dragged a bit. Northman kept you from the minute so the first scene, I started smiling, and you guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, definitely more pantless dudes too. That's what I want to see as well, Nathan. And I'm sure Gray, if Gray were here, Wakazashi's Tea House, I'm sure he would love that as well. But there's the first scene. We open on a raging ocean, right? Raging sea, it's gray and white. And you see this, like, the blizzard coming in. You see the snow kind of flying through the camera. Already, I'm like, Eggers film. It's an Eggers film beyond belief. This is so Eggers, I can't even believe it. Because Lighthouse was so similar. He had those scenes where it would be like the water, the ocean, and the rain would be coming in and it'd be like, towards the camera. And then the camera pans, and it does this kind of pan where it stops, like right as it hits the Viking village. It's this, I don't know how he's able to do it. I think it might be a mechanical, something that you're able to do with some of the mechanical tripods now, but it pans and then it stops, like immediately. You see the village and you see the 3 ships coming into port, and it looks great. It looks so good. And there was an interview with Eggers, and someone had said, like, if you had more money or if you had more time, would you have added an army, like a larger, army of boats? And he was like, sure, I could have put 50 boats in there, but dude, did I want 3 boats that looked immaculate, or did I want 50 boats that looked like a Netflix pitch? And I was like, based, so based. So I was so on board with that. And yeah, like, he's right. I would so much rather those 3 boats look amazing than these shitty 50 boats kind of like all CGI'd into the port. Roman says, I was afraid we were going to see Skarsgård's MVP-ness. I would have loved to see Skarsgård's MVP-ness. Are you kidding me? Maybe they did some, CGI lengthening on that bad Larry. But, so anyway, great first opening scene. The music is impeccable. The soundtrack is crazy. The sound design is perfect. And I just started smiling. I was like, we're in for a treat tonight, boys. I was in it. I was so stoked. And then, you see the king riding up into his kingdom. The movie makes me want to buy the last Assassin's Creed. I've heard good things about that, but Salty said the violence is like maybe 10 minutes of total film and wasn't much worse than Gladiator. Would you concur? Because that's my hesitation. Alasia, the violence, there isn't a lot of fighting per se, but when there is, the violence is very brutal. Now you can, I want you to watch it for yourself, and if you like nope out, if you're like, nope, I can't do it, then just, maybe leave. But the fighting is very brutal. Dude, so spoilers, here we go. Atris, yeah, that's a great point. Unfortunately, some of the greatest movies of all time bombed in the box office. Blade Runner, cult classic, dude. The violence is extreme but short. Yes, but it is extreme. Like, oh God, when Amleth pins, okay, here we go. When Amleth pins the bodies of the oh, hold on one sec. For some reason, my music just like went crazy on me. My headphones just like blew out. Can everyone hear me okay? Sorry, that was weird. Yeah, Ash, you would love it. I think you said you love Vikings. Yeah, this is definitely a film that you'd want to see then. Oh, my mic went out. That's weird. Sorry about that, guys. It's really quiet now. Is that what you guys are hearing? Mic check. Oh boy. MV Penis is in the chat. I'm a Viking, he says. That's too funny, man. Alright, we'll turn the music back up a bit. And hopefully that works out. Okay, cool. So, where were we? Yeah, just start yelling at you guys. Okay, everything sounds fine. Sorry about that. That was so weird. Yeah, my headphones like blew my eardrums out, and then I looked over at my sound levels, and my sound levels were just gone. There was just nothing there, and I was like, that was odd. Okay, so when Amleth pins the bodies of the friends up on the building, and the son is just like weeping and he's crying and he's going, oh, blah blah blah, this monster did this to my friends, and like everyone's talking about how, you know, they're like, oh, could this be the Christians, because the Christians believe that, you know, their God was nailed to a tree, and so they're kind of trying to put the pieces together. Dude, when I saw that mangled body of just limbs and guts just pinned to the wall, I was like, fuck, this is so cool. But it was just, it added to that visceral, like, just disgusting era. Even with the first raid, we see like how just brutal these guys were. And I liked the fact that you kind of had these more, the fights weren't as beautifully choreographed because it felt more brutal. You know, they're bumping into each other with the shields, or they're kind of struggling to get to a good position to fight against each other. It wasn't these perfect sword fights that it's like, you know, cling clang. It was this more realistic fight of just two men trying to kill each other. And it just made much more sense for that to happen. And it was one shot, you know, it felt like this long drawn out one shot as you're following Alex through, or Amleth through the Viking village. And then they burn that house down, which just another, like, you're never able to like breathe in a good way, because like you get hit with the berserkers raiding the front gates, and you see them putting the axe in the wall as he's climbing, and then he like hops over the wall and just takes some dude out, and you're like, whoa, that was pretty cool. But then he jumps down to kill some guy on horseback, and you're like, whoa, that was insane. And it just continues to, like, you're just never getting a breath, which is why I really kind of liked it. It just continued to get better and better. Now, as far as because we were talking about it earlier, but as far as the mythology goes, yeah, Monopoly dragging that dude along the wall just to slit his throat. It was so good. The tab that shouldn't be. I agree, man. Endgame was great. It was a good ending to the series, but it wasn't anything. It's not like a top Marvel film or anything. Excuse me. So the mythological side, and I think that we were talking about this a little bit earlier. When these sagas are told, a lot of the time they're told in these kind of fantastical ways. Like, instead of saying, you know, hey, I caught a fish today and it was this big, the Norse mythology would be like, I caught a fish today and I fought it for 12 days straight and I didn't eat the whole time, and as I was catching the fish, the giant sea monster so-and-so came up out of the sea and tried to eat me, and I fought it off, and then I caught the fish, and the fish was this big, and it filled the bellies of thousands of my friends at the table, and we ate and drank that night, and the sea monster god was pleased with our findings, with our cat. You know, it's like so much more dramatic. And so, with that being said, that's why I felt like all these mythological crazy scenes of the shamans or the Valkyries or the skeleton zombies made sense, because it felt like they were just telling the tale as you would around a campfire. What do you guys think about that? Does that make sense? And did you feel that way as well about the film? Lage says, I want to support this kind of filmmaking, but I don't know if I can handle this. You just try it out. See what you think. For me, I got so superheroed out at the end game was just a more tired ending to an overplayed story. Yeah, man, I can see that. I totally understand that. And there's nothing wrong with that, because me too. I am at this point, even with the room that I have, even with the comic books that I read and my life that has been centered around superheroes and comics, I'm like kind of superheroed out at this point, man. When it comes to movies, I'm just kind of like, hey, can we take a hiatus from this? Can we like do something else, please? Can we find something else? So the other cool thing was like the superstitions, right? That you can't take the Ulfbert sword out of its sheath during the daytime because it was cast by this type of people and the mythology behind that and and then the superstition of werewolves, where the werewolves come from, of Alexander howling in the night as all the dogs start attacking the village. And I know I'm going kind of back and forth with all these different scenes, but I'm just trying to... I wish I had my thoughts on paper, right? I'm just trying to remember all the great things within the film that I really enjoyed, that really kind of made it great, in my opinion. The Northman was beautifully realistic and full-on accurate proto-Hamlet. It was a breath of fresh, non-woke air. MCU should have ended with Endgame. That should be a hashtag. That should be a hashtag on Twitter. Should have ended with Endgame. Because I agree. I think that's where the MCU kind of ended for me as well. Dude, if they... Nathan, if they make a replica of the Ulfbert from this film, take my money. Take my money now. I'm going to be the first one. I don't care how much it is. That sword is so cool. I love when the noseless dude tried unsheathing the sword and just gave up. Dude, the noseless dude, and then he gets pinned to the wall at the end, and Amleth takes his sword and just slowly slides it up his freaking face. Thank you, Salty. Yeah, guys, if you are here and you're enjoying the discussion, or more so me just kind of gushing over the movie, please hit that like button if you haven't already, and share this with your friends. Share this on Twitter if you guys are enjoying hanging out, and we can get more people in the chat to talk about this. Flaccid, yeah, I've kind of been hinting at spoilers throughout the whole time, so let's do this, because I feel like I'm kind of all over the place, so I apologize, guys. I'm gonna do this. I have 3 scenes that I really want to get into that for me made the film, because I could go on here and just continue to gush and just explode. The MV penis is gushing and exploding, guys, about how great the film is. But these were the scenes I wanted to put this in my review for the spoiler free, but I realized that if I were to put these in there, it would have ruined some of the moments for some people. So I decided to do it with you guys tonight. Nathan, yeah, the stab through the nose, less guy had my wife shake. It was intense, dude. Yeah, for real, right? Okay, so the first one, I think I talked about this a little bit before, but the scene with the zombie skeleton, and I keep calling him that because I'm a simple-minded whatever, and I don't know his actual name, but the keeper of the Ulfbert sword, it was sorry, I just keep looking at the chat and I just saw Purple post the water, the squirting emoji. Thanks for that. And thank you, Lage, for posting all the links for me. I appreciate that. Napkins, tissues, whatever you guys can find. I don't have anything around here. Oh well. I'll just have to gush and clean up later. Draugr? Was that what it was, Shieldwolf? Draugr? The reason why, so during the film, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, whatever. Just a little scene where he has to get the sword. The Mound Dweller. Thank you, Sea-Nouth. The Mountain Dweller, or the Mound Dweller. I like that. He was the Draugr. Nice. Okay, thank you, guys. When I first watched it, I said, that was cool, that was fun, but I didn't really think anything of it. And then later, as I thought about it more, and like I said, I mentioned this kind of earlier in the stream, it really shows just how much Amleth had to fight he never had it easy. He continued to, whether it was from the start of, finding out about or watching his father die, to then fighting off a man to cutting his nose to escape, to then watching his mother being tormented, to then finding a boat and leaving the island, to then raiding and having to, go through the struggles of being a Viking in that time and raiding with his raiding party, to then branding himself and cutting his hair and being a slave, to then being one of the most overworked slave, and have to live in this tiny town, which, by the way, I also liked. I love that they did it in this tiny village. If they did in this big kingdom, it just would have made the whole thing feel much larger, and I liked that this was a smaller story. It was just about these two men, really. And so, which I mentioned that in my previous review of how things tend to be, is like, hey, multiverse ending event. And it's like, dude, we can just have these smaller stories that mean so much more. Because I was invested in Amleth's story more than I was invested in Endgame. Killing Thanos, blah, blah, blah. Cool. This huge multiverse ending event. I was more intrigued by Amleth's struggle. What else? So he's enslaved. He has to watch his mother be with Folnir. He has to fight for Folnir and his family, and that family, because he knows that in order to stay there as a slave, he has to behave technically and fight. He has to be in secrecy with Anna Taylor-Joy and Olga, and he has to secretly be able to have that relationship with her. He never has it easy, bro. He's never had a moment to breathe. And even when he is given his vision with the shaman, and he says, seek out the mound dweller, seek out the dragur, or whatever they call them. He, instead of just taking the sword, it's this visual representation of his struggle to go through. It's not going to be easy. And if it were any modern day film of any other character, they would have just given him the sword. They would have just allowed him to kill everyone. They would have just made him super overpowered. He wouldn't have had to go through all the struggle. He would have been the bestest ever. And you wouldn't have been as invested. But because he kept hitting wall after wall after wall of struggles, I was so much more invested with that character. So I loved the decision to have him fight the mound dweller as opposed to just taking the sword. Right, yeah, the zombie fight was all in his head. And I still think that was the struggle, though. Even though it was technically in his head or in this mythological, supernatural thing, it still was this moment of him fighting for that sword. Wish young Amleth would have gotten a Wheel of Pain type of montage. Wheel of Pain type of montage? Like Wheel of Time? Only inappropriate things are appropriate. Also, it was wrong. I was rooting for the mountain to pummel that kid. Oh, dude, yeah. When Half-Thor Bjornsson shows up. Tiny village in the middle of nowhere. What did you think of the reveal while rescuing his mom? Oh, we'll get to that. We shall get to that. Don't make me get Lizzo. What did MVP say to make you get Lizzo? No one wants Lizzo in this chat. I'm sorry. So yeah, Flaccid, like I said, I do think that it was in his head technically, but that's still the fight that he had to overcome. Oh, okay. Well, Lyle, I appreciate you muting me. Hang out in the chat and have fun. Rick Führer making the Oofbert and you're... Oh, Elias, thank you, dude. That sounds cool. Okay, definitely gonna go check that out. My volume level is like 20% lower now. My volume for my music, the tad that shouldn't be, or the volume for my microphone. Let's move that up a bit. Is that too loud, guys, or is that okay? Thank you, MVPness. Appreciate that. Okay, let's go back down. Literally a big deal. Exactly. Lizzo was in some good skits on SNL recently. Joe, but is SNL really a good gauge as to what is humorous or not? I haven't seen, I don't remember the last time I unironically watched NSL or SNL. John, the creative blue collar guy, hail Max and hail chat. Dude, thanks for being here. Great to see you. And Joe, thank you for being here as well. Joe, I have gotten your Twitter messages. I will get back to them ASAP. I've just been swamped today. I'm so sorry. Conan Wheel of Pain. Oh, nice. Okay. Monopoly says volume is fine. All right, thanks, dude. Good to hear. Yeah, it was in his head, but he had to overcome to reach a point of his own worthiness for such a sword. That's okay. That's what I'm saying, Nathan. That was how I read into it. That was the symbolism that I got from it. The crazy dried out head of Willem Dafoe, right, dude? And then how it like spoke to him as well. And the shaman's like shaking, and he's like bringing the soul back into the head. Like that was so cool. I know a lot of people probably will find that more just like, oh, this is weird, this is too out there. But like I said, it fits for the time period because, I mean, these people were taking mushrooms and hallucinogens and all kinds of weird shit that was going to give them these psychedelic, mythological, spiritual experiences. So I appreciated these weirder kind of moments. It didn't feel like it was weird for the sake of weird, if that makes sense, or art for the sake of art. So let's see. Jacob Ironside, what's up, dude? I will avenge everything. First time chatting or catching a live stream. Dude, Jacob, welcome then, man. I'm so glad to have you. So Oofbird sword, he gets the Oofbird sword. Cool. That was a scene that I really enjoyed. Next one. The wolf, bear, shaman scene right before the raid. We've seen it continuously in the previews. We see it everywhere on YouTube and every thumbnail. But that was such an animalistic scene and something that, now for my military boys and girls in the chat, does that not remind you of the stupid shit we would do as Marines or soldiers or airmen or sailors, whatever it is, or for sports, for anyone who is in a sport, whether you were, in football or lacrosse or, basketball or whatever it is, and everyone's like screaming and shouting and like getting all amped up and stuff. Like, I remember those football locker rooms where we would just like be in this big huddle, this big like fight, and people would just be like screaming at each other, like pushing into each other. It's like a lot of yeah, Placid said, yeah, with the same amount of clothes on too. Exactly, dude. You have like nothing on and everyone's just like fighting each other. It's that animalistic camaraderie, which is weird. I know it's kind of odd to say, but that's how it felt. And I appreciated that side of it. Those safety briefs, don't even get me started, Harley. Yeah, Nathan, I'm going to talk about my crayon talk, of course. The green crayons are the best, guys. So I felt like I really appreciated that scene because though a lot of people didn't like it, I know a lot of reviewers would say it's a little over the top or it's campy because it's just a bunch of half-naked dudes screaming and yelling at each other and pretending that they're wolf bears or whatever. I don't know. For me, it reminded me of going into war, reminded me of going into battle, of going onto the football field, of going onto our deployment. Whatever it was for the military or for sports, it felt like I was in that environment and in that realm. And so, like I said, for a lot of people, it felt a little campy. for me, I appreciated the fact that I was back with my brothers. I was watching that and smiling, and like my heart was pounding, and I was like, I could just feel my blood pressure going up because not because I have diabetes or I'm out of shape or anything, but because I was excited. I wanted to be there, and I felt like I was there. Because if you've experienced anything like sports or camaraderie or military or whatever it is, you get that animalistic nature to you when you're about to go battle. Even wrestling. Dude, when I wrestled and fought in high school, there was this, it's just one-on-one. So it's not a team sport. It's just you versus a guy in your weight class, and you guys are wrestling to try and kill each other. I mean, that's essentially what it is. And so when you're doing that, there's nothing more animalistic than just fighting another human being. But in order to do that, you kind of have to get yourself mentally to a point where you are invincible, where you see no weakness other than your enemy, or your enemy's weakness. And so with that being said, I was just so taken back by that whole wolf bear transformation that these guys were taking on. As weird as it sounds, it resonated fucking hard with me. It resonated very, very deeply. And maybe it's just because of that, but there was so much other great stuff in this film that made me say, like, technically, the cinematography, the score, the acting, all that stuff, beautiful. But the representation of these masculine elements, of these, traits that are forgotten, or that I have not been in as of late after leaving the military and everything, definitely hits you hard. Definitely hits you hard. Let's check the chat real quick. Shieldwall says, no, man, that shit was badass. Good, I'm glad I'm not the only one. It's not weird, though, Max. It is how one had to abandon themselves to get themselves into the position of the war. Dude, exactly. Thank you, Nathan. Nathan, you've been on point tonight, brother. All of you guys have been so on point in this chat. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, like you have to mentally kind of either turn off your brain or get to a point where you're not, I don't want to say human, but you're not human. You can't have the emotional ties with the world if you are going to go to war. And that's why we see a lot of military guys come back from war, and they can't flip that switch back to humanity, which is so sad. And that's a stream for another day, and I won't get into that because that's more mental health. That's a lot of what my disability is dealing with some of that. And like I said, stream for another day. We'll talk about it later. But as far as Northman goes, I resonated it to the heart with that shit. This is what some people fear, the kind of power. It is because they've never felt that kind of thing. Dude, Shieldwall, on point, man, on point. Most people who have professionally reviewed movies are either far removed from extreme experiences or have never done it, so they don't understand the significance. Yeah, I could see that, for sure. Harley, so we're bringing it 5 out of 10? Lyle says, I want to see Norse Berserkers done right. In my opinion, you got it in Northman. The wolf stuff was kind of weird, but then I can see that happening in those times. Cajun, yeah, like I was saying, the wolf stuff is much more to that era and to that specific culture. You know, you're not going to see medieval England turning into wolves. You know what I mean? This was much more of a Nordic thing. Lage, Wild at Heart. Maybe. It might help you understand boys, for sure. Well, you know what? You don't want to understand boys, you want to understand men. I think that's the difference. Oh, this is cool. Kenoth. I've literally spent time with Mel Gibson. Dude, that's awesome. The only way to understand it is to do it. I agree, Elias. You can't be human when you have to destroy humans. It's sad but true. If you don't have bath salts, get pumped with boys before the fight. I get hyped up like that from watching the Uruk-hai getting ready for the Battle of the Lord of the Rings. Dude, when they're all stomping their their shields and spears. So good. My job helped with that. I had to save people, so I suppose I was lucky. Absolutely, man. Oh, Lage, we all know you don't like Braveheart. That's okay, though. MVP needs to dress in a wolf skin and go raiding now. You're giving me good ideas, Purple. Don't tempt me. I might come back on here with a bear skin on me. Miss Martin Muses says hello. She gives a little wave. Thanks for being here. Hello. Yeah, most people have never experienced unrestrained violence. And dude, it's frightening, but it is worth it. For me, every time I experienced violence for a just purpose. Let me say that. Let me preface. Violence for a just purpose. Whether it was a sport or serving in the military or fighting for someone else's justice, you know, like sometimes there are bar fights where you have to protect someone. In those circumstances, violence is frightening, but it gives you a worthy passion. It gives you a motivation to fight for something that you believe in. And that's what these guys are doing. And so, yeah, the unrestrained violence thing, few people have experienced it. But when they do, they get it. They understand it. Yeah, no worries, Cajun. I think Nordic mythology is very convoluted because they didn't write a lot of their things down, and the things that they did write down is very... I mean, well, it was either burned or lost in time, or they were illiterate. So like, we don't get a lot of... the only people who were able to write their stuff down were Christians. And a lot of the Christians thought of these Northmen as giants, as monsters, as demons. So... we don't really get a lot. How that Berserker battle ended with Skarsgård biting out the neck of one of the defenders, yeah, really bookended the prior night's dance of the battle. Absolutely. And then, when he finally faces Fjolnir, when Fjolnir has the knife to Olga's neck, and he's like, you know, if anyone doesn't tell me, he's a madman at this point, right? Because Amlet has taken over the village that whole week. Each day he's just fucking slaughtering people, or the dogs have been attacking, or he's been putting things in the soup or in the water to make them hallucinate and kill themselves. Like everything that's been happening, he's just been building up to this moment. And he calls out Fjolnir and he goes, "I am the bear wolf." And I was like, dude, I can't handle how cool this is right now. So yeah, the Berserker Beowulf thing is really, really cool. Let's see. Also reminds me of the Jordan Peterson talking about how men are meant to be monsters. Part of being a man is knowing how to control the monster within. Absolutely, man. I just saw someone say Braveheart was fake news. Have you heard the Iceland Viking soccer chant? No. Is it kind of like the haka? You know, like New Zealand's and Australia's haka. All right. Did I grab everyone? Man, bear, pig. Man, bear, wolf. 10 out of 10 recommends unrestrained violence. Those are Max's pronouns. Man, bear, wolf. Sorry guys, I can't get to everyone's, but you guys are seriously amazing. Thank you so much for all your chats. It's really fun to read what you guys have to say. So, essentially, what, like I was saying earlier, violence for the sake of violence, I don't know. Until you're in that moment, until you are experiencing unrestrained violence, no one will ever be able to tell whether it was just or not. However, when we get into scenarios like frickin' Will Smith a few weeks ago or whatever, violence for the sake of whatever the fuck that was, you know, was that really defending his woman's honor because of a joke? You know what I mean? So with that, it's very convoluted, and there's so much. It was, you know, and then to have people applaud him for doing that. It I don't know, it's kind of like oh, thank you, Salty. I'll check stream elements now. it's frustrating because you see what good violence can do when it's just and when it's meant to be something to protect, and when violence is done out of just hatred or aggression and nothing other than just to assert dominance, it can be abused. Like anything can be abused. I love how she balanced Amleth out in the movie too, the characters and acting. Which is why I love Olga as a female character, dude, because she is strong-willed and she puts Folnir in his place a few times. She laughs at Folnir when he's got the knife to her throat and she goes, "Fucking, I dare you, bro." I mean, she didn't actually say that. I would hate it if she actually said that in this period film. Imagine her saying that. But for her reaction was, "I dare you," you know, because her convictions were so strong and she knew, she was confident that he wouldn't do it. He's too much of a coward, you know. But she also balanced Amleth and his aggression and his anger and his hatred towards Folnir, because she would be able to bring him to a place where she could bring him down to humanity and say, "Listen, I love you and I want us to be together. And you need to recognize that if we are to ever escape this place, we have to do that together." And she was able to do that very beautifully with her acting, and also as that character. I think there's that great balance of the masculine and feminine qualities. You can still have a very strong female that balances out a more masculine male. Great point, Nathan. Nick McCabe, what's up, dude? How's it going? It is going well, my man. I'm having a great time talking about this stuff with you guys. So thanks for being here. Freestyle or Greco-Roman wrestling? I guess it was Greco-Roman. It was competitive, so I would assume Greco-Roman. It was like what you would see at the Olympics. That's the kind of wrestling that I was doing. Yes, it was also definitely being battered by his wife. That too. So as far as the violence things go, Lisa Mark, my grandfather was a Marine sharpshooter who fought in Korea. CIA killed 17 people. Wow. For them, and I stayed with him until he died. Wow, Lyle, thank you for sharing that, man. That's crazy. The whole crowd gets in on it. They call it the thunderclap. MVP, the whole crowd gets in on it. They call it the thunderclap. Am I missing context, Jacob? I'm not sure. By the way, I love the Ironside. Bjorn Ironside, right? All right, my friends, let's check stream elements real quick, because you guys have donated, so we shall read some of these. We have Michael for part 2 of his super chat for $5. He says the scene between noble Amleth and his mother, Queen Gudrun, was powerful, gripping, and disturbing. Wonderful mix of religion, spirituality, and yes, men being men, scandalous. I rate this movie very high. Dude, Michael, and I haven't even talked about, oh my God, guys, we're an hour and 13 minutes into this thing, and I haven't even talked about the mother. God. Crazy. Michael, thank you for the super chat. This is for you, my friend. Excellent. Thank you, Michael. Flaccid Phoenix for 420, bro. Did you celebrate 420 on 420, Flaccid? He says, the Northman proved once and for all, Vikings are better than Packers. Or anyone from Wisconsin. Skull. Damn, that's cold. Well, Wisconsin is also cold, but that comment was cold. Thanks for the super chat, Flaccid, for the 420. 420, bro. For some 420, I'll give you some laughs, my dude. I love that clip so much. It makes me laugh every time. Salty Texas C for $2 says, I see you are as strong as a bear, but if you betray me like a wolf, I will put you down with the rest of them. Was that from the seer? Oh, no, that was Folnir, huh? I see you are as strong as a bear, but if you betray me like a wolf, I will put you down with the rest of them. That was Folnir, wasn't it? When he's getting his slaves. That's right, dude. Great one, Salty. Thank you, sir. For that, we shall go with some more aggression.
I'll dance with you.
Excellent. Thank you guys for the super chats or the stream elements donations. That is extremely generous, and hopefully pretty soon here, once we get monetized, you guys will be able to do super chats and stuff like that, and it'll be pretty fun to have you guys do that. So we've gone over the zombie skeleton. We went over the wolf bear chanting scene. Now, there was one other. That's what it was. This one's a quick one just because I thought it was a cool visual. But the scenes whenever they would show his lineage. So whether it's the Viking Longship going into Yggdrasil, and it's this kind of astral space, tree, and you see the boat flying into Yggdrasil, or Amleth has his vision of him becoming king, and you go through the bloodlines, you go through Yggdrasil and the roots of Yggdrasil, and it's slowly panning up through the lineages and the skeletons, and then you see his father, and then above the father you see Amleth, and then later in the film we see Amleth, we see the father, we see Amleth, and then we see Olga and the two children. Those visuals were hauntingly beautiful, and the soundtrack to go with it, dude. Of course, I'm gonna mention the soundtrack because the soundtrack is chef's kiss. It's 100% perfect. Yeah, the Yggdrasil tree was was really, really rad to see. I wish I had a better term or description of expressing how I felt about it, but it truly was a beautiful sensation and a beautiful way of looking at these Viking heritage, right? So I love that depiction. I look forward to when Max gets Northman clips for the super. Yes, that is 100%. You guys are gonna get nothing but Northman clips when it comes out. You bet your ass it's gonna be nothing but Northman clips. Remember the Vikings lost to the Saints in the 2000. Oh, we're talking football now, boys. We're talking football now. Shoot. So we need more movies like this, yeah. Oh, Tad says, I have to disagree. While the early Christian scholars certainly Christianized what they wrote down, they did not think of their ancestors as beasts or monsters. I thought that. So, Tad, I thought that when the Vikings would go over to England, when they would raid England, and I know that they would raid Ireland at times as well, but when they found these places, I recall that a lot of English would find themselves writing down saying, these were giants, these were men from a giant land carrying furs and steel that they had never seen before, because we have to remember that people were much smaller back in those days. Like, they were 5'5", 5'8". That was like, you were considered tall if you were 5'8". And so to see these monsters, 6'4", 6'5", literal giants from the north, I feel like that's what they were writing about, and that's why they thought, oh my God, these people were giants. As far as the Christian scholars, though, I know that Vikings tended to then turn to Christianity. I just don't know how they felt. So that's probably what you're talking about, that those ancestors, the Swedes or those who were living in Denmark, probably didn't think of their brothers and sisters that were pagans as demons, but necessarily just not Christians. I don't know. Did you notice his daughter had a Russian Eastern Roman Empire-like crown on? Ooh, I didn't notice that, but now I have to go watch it again, Shieldwall. A2D2, hey, happy Monday, Max. I'm always late. No worries, A2. We're just happy to have you here. Thank you for being here. And for everyone that is in the chat, everyone who is watching, thank you again for being here. Hit that like button if you are enjoying so far. We've just been honestly it's been an hour and 20 minutes, and we've just been talking Northman the whole time and just enjoying this great film. So thanks for sticking around. When do you think this will be up for purchase? That's a good question, Lej. I don't know if it's probably not gonna hit streaming before it hits like hard copy DVD. I don't know. What do you guys think? Naked fighting for $50 donos. Does that mean that I have to naked fight for a $50 dono? I'll do that. Yeah, I'll wear a bear skin. I'll wear my silkies, and I'll just run around my room here with an axe and sword. Why not? Dibs on being Amleth in the face swap. Oh, that's not fair, Purple. That's not fair. Does that mean that I have to be Olga? Wow. I already knew of this. Another thing that stood out to me was how much Tolkien really drew Norse mythology for Middle-earth. That's rad. Sorry, the thunderclap is the Icelandic soccer team. Oh, okay, thank you. I was wondering what the context of that was. So thanks, man. Yes, fight like a bear wolf. Absolutely. So yeah, that was just another thing that I really loved. I was talking about earlier was the those scenes where you saw the lineage of the roots of Yggdrasil going through the skeletons of each one of the family members, and then making its way to the king, and then to Amleth, and then to Olga, and then the two children. Absolutely visually stunning and beautiful, and I loved how they did that. Dude, that's way too low. Ask for 200. Trouble Green, this could easily turn into like an OnlyFans. If I, $50, I'm not going to say no to $50. Sundrop Puddleton. I don't know if I've seen you in the chat before, so welcome in. Thank you for being here. Says, I was thankful for the wolf scene. I finally figured out what happens in men's locker rooms. Yeah. You're not wrong. Full degen, absolute degen, men's locker rooms. It's hilarious. It's great. Okay, so speaking of the mom, let's get into the mom here. The final scene where I'm blanking on her name now, the actress. I even said it in my review and I'm blanking on it now. But when she turns, when she does that full 180 and Amlet is just like he's so frustrated and angry, but he's also sad and he's confused, and you like see him holding back tears and he's like welling up. Thank you, Lej. You're worth more than that. I appreciate it. Thank you. So yes, Nicole Kidman. Thank you. So when Nicole Kidman turns and her eyes change, I don't know what it is, but like she is just such a fantastic actress that like I got chills with how in a moment's notice she goes from being sentimental to, oh, I'm so glad you're here, Amleth, to you little bitch, like she is so upset at Amleth for coming to try and save her, because as we find out, she is actually the one who ordered the king's death. It's like a soap opera. Salmon Outdoors, what's up, Devin? He goes meow, and meow to you, and in that case, meow to you, Gideon, as well. Meow to everyone. So wait, what sound do fish make? That's a good question. I don't know. But yeah, that scene was so intense, dude. And then she starts, okay, so here's my question to you, chat. Do y'all think that she was actually raped? Or do you think that she is so evil and so foul-hearted that she loved Folnir and would try and fake or accuse the king of such an awful deed. Uh-oh, I'm out of focus. There we go. What's up, everyone? Devin, we are talking about Northman. My long lost son, I'm so glad you're here. Also, die. Yeah, that's what it felt like, right? Yeah, dude, because there's a part of me, a large part of me, the MVP-ness part of me, that says she definitely is siding with her captor, right? She has this Stockholm syndrome, that she has now become this evil, tormented witch that is so beaten down by her captor that she has just fallen in love with him, as like weird as that sounds. But that's what Stockholm syndrome is, right? Like, she's the one who she has the brand, right? So it probably was true that she was a slave, but so was Olga. Olga was a slave as well, and yet Amleth never forced himself on her. They had a natural relationship. They loved each other very much. So what's to say that the king was not that way with her, with the queen? So MVP, let's get out of here. I see you in the chat. Oh, I see you in the chat. Get out of here. Yeah, Devin, we are going into super spoilers tonight. I'm sorry if I did spoil anything, brother, but definitely go see it. I think you'll enjoy it. She was the mastermind and was already banging the brother. So that's kind of where my mind goes to. I think she's straight up evil. Like, I think she was at the heart of this and made Fjolnir. And this is the strength of women, is they have that, they have the capability of manipulation and being able to kind of, well, I don't want to say manipulate because that sounds bad, but they are able to, women have a strength in them that can persuade men to do great things, but also terrible things. And she chose her power to do awful things, which is where I think she forced or manipulated Fjolnir into killing the king. And then from there had a kingdom of her own, because she now had Fjolnir kind of in her hands, whereas the other king might have been more not as tolerant. I don't know. She hated the king because she was a slave and he took her. She made the uncle kill the king for both revenge and to have power over him. So yeah, Shield Wall, the took her part. I think she made up the fact that the king forced himself onto her. I think probably the king, and this is all speculation, you know, that's why this is great, because we have these discussions, and that's why it's a great movie, because it makes you think more about it. Because I don't think that the king forced himself on her. I think that she made that up in order to validate why he should be killed. And the lie that she probably told Fjolnir, right? Either way, she's crazy. Yeah, dude. Especially when she tries to kiss Amleth and she's like, we could be a kingdom together. And I was like, nope, get the hell out of there. Do not, no, just no. I think she fell for the brother and betrayed the king. Yeah, she definitely fell for Fjolnir, that's for sure. She had been into Fjolnir from the start, was the only one who defended her honor when Jester slapped his tallywhacker. True, which makes that much more intriguing, why he was the one who was like, hey, you know, watch your tongue. So, you know, they probably already knew. They had this planned, you know. The power of the vagina. Sounds like my ex, dude, right? My ex was able to manipulate me and make me feel shitty all the time. It's crazy. She orchestrated the whole thing. Fjolnir is a simp. She brought down the kingdom with a word. The real power of a woman. Dude, that's what I'm saying. We don't need fucking female Thor. Like, women have power with just their words, and it's sometimes even stronger than the will of brutality. She was evil AF, I agree, man. But can you blame her for falling for the uncle at the end? Bro, Folnir was just as jacked as Amleth. Folnir looked fucking great. And he was probably in his, 60s? Like, dude, Folnir looked amazing. And that fight at the end, guys, so well done. Like, I've heard a lot of people saying that the choreography or the fighting choreography was not as, like, what's the right word that I'm looking for? I can't think of it. That it wasn't as sharp. I guess I'll just say that. That it wasn't as sharp or like honed as it could have been. But I actually liked that it was more brutish. That it was more, it was polished. It wasn't as polished as some fight scenes. But I think that's what made it more real. Because you felt the weight of the sword. You felt the weight of the shield. You felt the weight of Amleth, who had taken all these hits, right? He had been cut across his chest. He'd been stabbed in the back like 20 times. He's broken. He's dehydrated and hungry. And here he is at the gates of hell, fighting off the man who he swore to kill. And yeah, man, I absolutely love it. And so in that regard, I think it's better that the fight scenes weren't as polished as they could have been. I think it was much more of an act. It was brilliant the way that they were acting out how tired they were and how heavy these pieces of equipment were. Sometimes, okay, so being live makes you forget words. I'm 100%, I guarantee being live makes you forget words. As I've done this for the past 9 months, I know it's not a long time, but in the past 9 months, words that should be very easy to remember get lost in the ether somewhere, and you don't remember them. Tallywhacker is it really is. I'm going to do a short video and talk about the sources and the way it got there. It's more than I can type, but worth doing. Cool, man. I look forward to seeing your video. Salty, I agree, man. Hell scene was perfect. Dude, the cinematography on that thing was so rad. I like how they used the shields in the fight, for real. Bang is 54. Dude, looks amazing. He's a good-looking man. Good-looking man. The fighting didn't seem choreographed. That's a good thing. Just like Braveheart and Gladiator. Agreed. And I know everyone's getting upset about you saying Braveheart, but I agree with you, man. It was realistic, yep. That fight scene at the end was raw, 10 times better than Anakin vs. Kenobi. And hey, it was the same setting, too. Anakin vs. Kenobi was on a lava planet, too, or whatever. Amleth was stabbed by his mother and half-brother multiple times. Dude was bleeding out. Exactly, man. Dude, he was exhausted. So weird to be live and suddenly forget how to think. Yeah, oh yeah. You forget. Everything goes out the window. It's crazy. So, yeah, the lava looked cool. I agree. Well, I could continue on for a lifetime, guys. But as far as the review goes, as far as this movie goes, it's a 9.5 out of 10 for me. The only reason why I didn't give it a full 10 out of 10 is because there's a part of me that really wanted to see more of Olga and Amleth. There's a scene at the end where Olga and Amleth are sitting together. It was after the pool where he's like healing and she brings him back, as the Valkyrie, which I also thought was great. But where they're sitting there and they're both clothed and he just has her in his arms and they're talking about their future and how she's saying, we need to leave here. And if you need to get rid of your past, that's what you have to do, and we need to raise these children. And we need to leave this place, and we need to find a boat. And Amleth starts saying, I have some family, or I have some friends in this place, and so we'll go there, we'll find them. I wanted to sit there. I wanted to enjoy the moments between Amleth and Olga that were more compassionate and that were exploring their relationship. Because we had seen such brutality. We'd seen such hardship. We'd seen such vengeance and rage and aggression, that I wanted that moment to be longer, because I wanted us to really enjoy them being together and what that meant for him. Because he even says, he's like, I wasn't expecting you to come along my path. And this whole thing about is this whole film is about his fate, right? You know, will he follow his fate? Will he be kind to his kin, or will he avenge his enemy, or will he take vengeance on his enemies? And he chooses the latter. And I think it speaks to his character as a hero, that in order to be kind to his kin, to allow the mother of his children to raise them in peace, he has to sacrifice himself, because he's right, Folnir will never let him live in peace because of what Amleth did to Folnir and his kingdom and his family. So I loved that Amleth sacrificed himself, but before that, I wanted him to be with Olga for a little bit more. Yeah. That was my only complaint. So 9.5. Michael said, well, Cajun says it's a good movie, very well made. I'll give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. Corey, give me an 8. Give me an 8.5, my man. A 7.5? Come on, dude. No, I love you, Cajun. Hey, you know what? That's a score. That's a score. Michael said Folnir had the advantage in this fight after the damage Amleth took already. I wanted to see more of Olga, that's for sure. Yeah. Salty, absolutely agree, Max. I wanted the happy ending to Hamlet. Dude, yeah, me too. It's a mixture, you know, because I'm like, I would have loved to see a happy ending, but you know that he can't, because he has to, you know, unfortunately, you know that he has to avenge his father and kill, like, that's his whole purpose, his whole existence. He even says in the film, there's a line where he goes, you know, where I think Olga is talking to him and she's asking him if he wants to live, if he even wants to do anything after once he gets his freedom back of being a slave. And he goes, after I kill him, I'll decide if I want to continue living. And I think that's a great way of putting it. Because at that point in time, that was his only purpose in life, was to kill Folnir. So I think it was a heroic decision to sacrifice himself in order to keep his children and his lover safe. 2 hours and 20 minutes didn't feel like it. They could have expanded on a few things without it feeling like it's way too long. I could see that. I think the timing was perfect, but if they expanded just a little bit more on some of those character scenes, I wouldn't have minded it at all. I watched an interview today with Robert Eggers that said that there will be more deleted scenes that we didn't get, that we will see in the DVD. His fate is why he couldn't stay with Olga. That's the great part. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but Salty, there we go. 9 out of 10, boys. That's what I like to see. I wanted him to live and be a father, but at the same time, it's a different ending. For sure, Cajun, that was the thing. It was like, there's a part of me that really wanted him to live out his life and become a father and put this vengeance behind him. But unfortunately, he can't do that. Harley, now you're just trolling. We got some max range. Okay, thank you, Cajun. An 8 out of 10. I'll take it. I'll take it. I can't wait for Robert Eggers' next movie. It's supposed to be in Nosferatu. Ooh, Nosferatu, huh? Okay, I appreciate that, Cajun, yeah, because I would give this way better than Batman, dude. 8.5, 9 out of 10. Agreed, Nathan. Well, I agree that it's a high score, but like I said, I'm giving this thing a 9.5. Max smiles when he rages. That's not a good sign. At least I'm not turning into the bear wolf, Max. 8.5 to 9 score at least. The fights could have been grittier. Oh, Michael, you wanted them to be grittier. Whoa, okay, all right. The revenge mission morphed into a salvation mission for his family. Dude, you're on fire. You are absolutely on fire. Couldn't have said it better myself. Kanoth says, 9 for me. It was so great to see a story that gave no fucks about a happy ending and did what was right for the story. Absolutely, dude. Yeah, that was the story that they needed to tell. 8.7 out of 10 for me. Very specific Monopoly, but hey, that's a good one. Defoe's back for Nosferatu. 9 out of 10. I needed Brie Larson. Get the fuck out of here. Well, I would be remiss in my duties, my friends, if I didn't bring up our next article or our next talking point. Because, of course, in the talking points in this title, I put that there is going to be an asexual superhero coming out for Pride Month. Or Pride Month? Or Pride Week? Or Pride DC Pride? Something like that. But before we do that, let me get to this super chat from Ben. Ben gives us 420 and he says, have yourself a coffee, man. Well, thank you, Ben. I appreciate that, brother. For you, let's get some of this in here.
Up into the overtime keel! Armor with a heart of steel! Cold is the ocean spray! Your death is on its way!
Excellent. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate the 420. And I will absolutely get myself a coffee with that. That's great. Gave it a 6 out of 9. Jacob Ironside, I'm so sorry if I spoiled anything for you tonight, brother, but I think you'll enjoy it, and I hope you like it just as much as we did here at the chat. All right, so I'm going to bring up our article. I didn't have it on. Oh, Purple, you're gonna head out. Thank you for being here, Purple. Have a great rest of the night. Get some good sleep. I'll see you tomorrow night on Salty's show. Thank you for being here. Tad That Shouldn't Be says, I haven't seen The Northman yet, but everything described reminds me of 2 movies, Valhalla Rising and Ironclad. Oh, I remember Ironclad. Ironclad was cool. I like that one. Valhalla Rising was super artsy, but I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. Mads Mikkelsen was badass. Lage says I need to check in on my stream elements, so I shall. And oh yeah, Harley, we'll get to the asexual superhero. Don't you worry about that. Lage for $1. Thank you, Alasia. She says if I go see it this weekend and I freak out, you all owe me compensation for a movie ticket. Just kidding, but also maybe. Lage, well, you know what? I'll refund you your donation money. How about that? If you go see it and you don't like it, I'll give you back your $1. And well, actually, depending on what movie theater you see it in, some of those theaters can be like $6 or like $20 for a ticket. It just depends. But thank you so much for the donation. Here you go, my friend.
I bid you stand! Men of the West!
Once again, thank you, Alasia. Very kind of you. Now let's get into some goodness with our boy, Connor Hawke. For those of you who don't know, Connor Hawke is the son of Green Arrow, and also, I believe, the sidekick. To be totally honest, I don't know 100% the origin of Connor Hawke, or like his character. I haven't read a lot of him, so let me do this. I want to flip this bad Larry. You guys are gonna see in real time what happens when I can flip some of this stuff. Or will I be able to flip this? I'm pretty sure I will be. But sometimes it's a little odd. There we go. Now we're talking. So this is the article. There are plenty of articles out here. A Troll Green says, I'm kidding you, derp. I am derpy. You only get to go if you're okay with bruises. Oh, MVP is back in the chat. I'll go with you. Good night again, Purple Valkyrie. Have a great night. So this is the article that, or one of the many articles, like I said, that I've seen about this. But really, I just wanted to kind of bring this up because I'm not going to read the article. I'm not going to go over it. There's really nothing that talks about him or what this is about or anything. It just, so much of this is just, why? You know, like a lot of this is just, okay. This is kind of what I said in one of my first videos ever on YouTube. I was still in my old house and I had my phone and that was it. And I just recorded a video real quick. And it was about Tim Drake, who is one of the Robins, right? But he's like a B, C-list character for some people who know Batman. Some people might not even know who Tim Drake is. And they made Tim Drake gay or bisexual in one of his comic books. And a lot of people were freaking out and they're going, oh my God, blah, blah. And my main point in the video was just like, okay, who cares? Because not who cares, but who cares in a sense of they're going to continue to do this, and until we speak out about it or until we say something about it, they're just going to keep pulling. It's the same rabbit out of the hat trick, right? Because unfortunately, DC doesn't really know how to write these characters well without doing something like this. And this one seems even more lazy, the asexual thing, because what asexual means after knowledge, or getting some knowledge and Googling it for myself and actually trying to understand what that was. Asexual just means that you don't want to have sex with anyone. But my question is, why do we care about who these superheroes want to have sex with? Does that make sense? So I don't necessarily want to say, oh, who cares? Because of course, I care about these characters. I care about comic books. I care about stories. I care about the industry. I care about all that stuff. But that's not to say that I just that I don't care about one of these superheroes' sexuality. It for me, it's not who they are. But for these writers, I feel like that's all they can write about. And I feel like that's who they've created these characters' identity off of. Where Connor Hawke probably is so much more than that. I haven't read a lot of him, and I will be completely honest about that and forthcoming and say, I don't really know Connor Hawke that well, nor do I think that he's a very compelling character. But making him asexual doesn't make him more compelling to me, nor does it make him more compelling to a lot of other fans. Now correct me if I'm wrong, chat, and I know you guys will, because I don't want to be unfair here. And I'm kind of taking I'm taking a page out of Salty's book, because I'm going, does that seem unfair, or am I being unfair? But truly, I mean, I just don't get it, Because DC continues to do this with their characters. Same with Marvel. We won't exclude Marvel, don't you get me wrong. Marvel still does this to their characters as well. And it feels like it's very contrived, and it feels like they have nothing else to offer. It's, like I said, it's the magician who's done this 3,000 times, and he gets back on stage, and he reaches into the hat, and guess what he pulls out? He pulls out a bunny rabbit. And everyone in the audience goes, yep, we've seen this one. We've seen this one. It's another rabbit out of the hat trick. What else you got? And that's not what you want as a comic book industry, one, as a comic book creator, two, as a reader, three, you don't want this repetitive nature of characters being changed for the sake of progress? Because is this progress? I would argue that it's not. Because I just don't think people are really interested in who Connor Hawke screws on the side. I don't think that people are interested in that. I don't know. Let's get to the chat. Let's see what chat has been saying. I'm so sick of media types thinking we give a toss about made-up character sexuality. No one cares. Does anyone actually come out as asexual? I just feel like you live your life without engaging with anyone on a romantic level. What's there to come out of that? Technically, they made this his super gay, but continue. The dive into full tard continues with this intersectional crap. It goes down to having LGBTQIA plus minus % $ representation. So does this mean if you tell an asexual person to fuck themselves, it would be advice instead? But see, do asexual people want to have sex with themselves? Because I don't think they want to have sex with any gender. We have a predicament on our hands. How often have we looked at a drawing and thought, I wonder who this drawing would have sex with if it were a real person? Dude, Zach, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I would never consider any of my heroes behind me. I wonder who they're fucking. You know? Nathan says, before I can feel like I can save lives and stop crime, I have to explore my sexuality. That way I can feel complete. Now, there are people who feel that way, and all the power to them, because some people only have their sexuality as their identity. And for that, I want them to be happy, and I want them to be able to understand that they are more than just their sexuality. Their identity is so much more than just who they fuck. You know? And I hate, I'm sorry if that's harsh, but I really do want them to be happy in their own skin. But for them to do that, they have to understand that they are so much more than just their sexuality, that they have so much to offer to this world than just my identity is asexual, my identity is homosexual. It is so much more than that. And that's the beautiful thing about these characters, about these superheroes, is that they're so much more than their sexuality. But we continually, time and time again, see the rabbit out of the hat trick, because DC has nothing else to offer, and Marvel has nothing else to offer. Rippa says, these writers are talentless activists who can't write a character to save their lives. Let's just call Connor Hawke an incel and move on. At least he's not pulling out an MVP-ness. Hey, that's true. He probably doesn't want to have an MVP-ness or see an MVP-ness or any of that. It's inverse progress. Dude, yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I feel like those who are reading these books who want progress are seeing this and they're going, yeah, that's not progress. Why don't we get an actual story of the Midnighter, who is a gay man, and let's have a comic book centered around Midnighter. Where's his story? Not to be seen, right? We do have a Midnighter series in the back of the Superman book currently, but that is different. I mean, that's, I don't know. I won't be happy until I see morbidly obese Calvinist superhero. Oh, man. If they were for true, they'd just make his that way instead of annoying it with his fanfare. All they're looking for is to stir up crap. And that's another thing, Lage. I think that this is all for press. It's all for media. It's all for clicks. And that's unfortunate because that isn't progress. If we are to have progress, this would naturally be a beautiful thing. And this would just naturally be part of the story. It wouldn't be a news article. It wouldn't be press. It wouldn't be a big event, tie-in, expansive, multiversal, fight. It would just be a natural thing and we wouldn't have to discuss it because it would be normal, It would be normalized. It wouldn't be over-sexualized or over-emphasized. They are corn holing themselves and good for them. Nope, still don't care what cartoon character they're banging. Joe says, in all fairness, this is taking place in an anthology. People who aren't interested in these issues likely won't pick them up anyway, and it likely won't be brought up much or at all in his rare appearances. True, Joe, and that's kind of what I've been seeing with a lot of these characters is that if they are going to go full into their sexuality, I want them to do that, because if you were to explore that more, it would have to be a great creator or a good writer or something to explore that aspect. And for those who want to see the progress of these characters, they want more than a variant cover. They want more than just a one-shot story in an anthology series. Like that Superman Red and Blue series with Daniel Warren Johnson writing. I would have loved to see more of that short story. It was only like 8 pages. I would have loved to have a whole 22-page comic, but we only got the 8 pages. So I know there are people who want to see this. Maybe not this specifically with Connor Hawke, but there are people who want to see more of these characters. And if that's the case, I just don't know if the creators, writers, more so the editors, I think, and the higher ups at DC really know how to do that or want to do that. I don't know. What do you think, Joe? I know you and I have had talks about this, about a lot of the times it's more of the creative decisions of higher ups that are saying, we need this, or we want this, or we're not going to write this, or we are going to write this. So, I'm very kind of milquetoast about this one, because at this point it's happened so many times that I just I feel like I don't know if it's not going to help with sales. It's not going to help with the character. And for people who actually want to see these characters be emphasized, it's not going to help them either. Which is a shame, which is unfortunate. Comics these days focus on checking boxes. Story and character development comes second. On the CW, a lot of these DC characters are gay, etc. Later guys got to see a man about a dog. All right. Well, Sino, thank you for being here, man. I think this is your first time being in the chat. Welcome, and we will see you next time. Thanks for being here. Where is the bestiality representation? Oh my god, that's awful. So much for inclusion. Berserkers need someone to relate to. Oh man. The wolf bear, or the bear wolf representation. You know what? To be fair, Amanda Manethrin, if there were a berserker, well, there is a berserker comic. What am I saying? From Keanu Reeves. It's not the same Viking berserker that we're talking about bear wolves, about man-bear pigs, but still. So yeah, I didn't want to talk too much about this because, like I said, guys, I just don't think that this is, I don't see this as, unfortunately, I don't see this as progress, right? If we are going to make progress, there needs to be more than just one story in an anthology series. It needs to be more than just a variant cover. Let's actually get some creators who want to write these characters and who actually want to tell a great story. And I think that's very simple, and I don't think it's much to ask for. So, I don't know. Let's check in on Gideon, guys. Let's see how he's doing. What up, dude? He is still chilling, still enjoying life. And boys, let's see if we can go to Comic Can here. Oh, you guys saw my Flaccid. Don't give me a hard time. I know I have a USMC drink here. Okay, lastly, we're getting towards the 2-hour mark, and I don't want to take us too far into it. But boys, I just finished Vinland Saga. Yo. This book is near perfection. Near perfection. And guess what? It's manga. It's manga. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, I'm not into manga. I'm not going to read it. I don't want to read it. It's weird. I don't want to be a waifu or a hentai master or a... what's the other one? I don't want to be a... oh, crap. I'm blanking on the name. Here we go again, boys. Wow, I'm forgetting stuff already. Oh, God. What's the... Chat, help me out here. What's the term for... not a yandaru. A yandaru is like another thing. It's when guys are super obsessed with anime. A weeaboo! I figured it out. A weeaboo. Yeah, I'm not a weeaboo. This is just great manga, guys. And it goes with the theme of today's story, which is Vinland Saga, and which is the Northmen. and which is Viking, everything Viking. Shield Wall goes, that cat has literally not moved. Dude, he does that. The industry is under attack. I don't know who's writing good stories anymore. Everything I like is 2011 or earlier. So Roman, there are good stories out there. And I will try and do my best to, like here, like I will try and do my best to emphasize them and talk about them because I think they need to be talked about. Because there are really, really good stories that I've been reading as of late. Maybe not necessarily from the big two, but some are from the big two. Like World's Finest. Excellent. Very well done Superman and Batman. But, yeah. So there is stuff out there that's good. But yeah, let me know, guys, in the chat or in the comments for this, if you would like more recommendations of stuff that you would like to read or you would be interested in reading, because there are comics out there, and I think for me, I need to do a better job of introducing those to you guys. I need to do a better job of showing those off and getting them into the hands of people who want to read these, right? Great show too. I agree, Harley. Vinland Saga is dope. Agreed. Weeb. Yeah. I'm a total weeaboo. Some of us have to deal with asexuality as a real medical or psychological issue. You lose, or in some cases, never had sexual urges. You can't come out as asexual. Oh, interesting. Tad that shouldn't be. I don't know. You know, I can't speak to that personally at all, but I'm sure it's a struggle, man. I mean, I would never want to demean the struggle that some of those people have to go through. So, yeah. But, like I said, you know, in that article or with this new news of Connor Hawke, you know, one of the DC characters coming out as asexual, whether he has come out or not, or has always been asexual, I just don't think that is progress, right? Like, if we are trying to promote these characters and make them normalized to a society, every time we talk about it like it's some grand opening or grand multiversal event, it actually kind of hinders that, I feel like. I don't know. But yes, weeaboo. Thank you guys for reminding me. One Piece is a great manga too. Absolutely. Fist of the North Star. Shield Wall, I actually just finished Fist of the North Star as well. Fist of the North Star had great artwork. Like, the artwork in Fist of the North Star was really well done. I like Vinland Saga's story more. I had a hard time originally getting into manga, but I embraced some of it. Yeah, it's a great little medium, man. Oh, Monopoly, I'm glad you started reading World's Finest. I like it. Some other new DC stories that I've enjoyed. Cool, man. I'm glad to hear that. Recommendation for books, movies, and TV shows would be great. I just been rewatching the TV show Survivor. Oh, nice. I need to check it out. I'm generally a big 2 guy. Some Image, but not a ton. I'm just not a manga guy. Hey, no worries, man. Yeah, manga's not for everyone. It's for sure not for everyone. But let me just open this bad boy up so you guys can see. So normally whenever you get manga, you get like the first few pages that are colorized or colored or whatnot. I'm getting in the way. I'm gonna make myself small. Can you guys still see me? Is this okay? I'd prefer you guys see the book, more of the book, than you see me. But the artwork in this is really cool as well. It's also a lot of fun. This is a raid that's going on. We see some of our main character here. And this is a couple years into him fighting as a Viking, I guess, essentially. But yeah, man. And the cool thing about this is that you read it from right to left. So that's the other interesting part. This is cool. The Viking Longship. Oh, I love these images, like where you have the hero like in his like stance, in his heroic fighting stance. The Viking Longships again. Yeah, man. These are great pages, and The story is just a lot of fun. Here's the Longship again. So cool. All the dead bodies. So, I don't know. I really loved this story. I won't go too far into it because there's a certain point. Oh, this is a great layout as well. There's a certain point that I will get into, like, I would get into spoiler territory. I know I've already spoiled, what do you call it, Northman, but I don't want to spoil Vinland Saga because that is something I would love for you guys to read. And check this out. It is only $20. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. But yeah, it's only $20. You guys can grab it on Amazon, or you can go to your local comic shop and pick it up. But for something that's this thick, you know what I mean? Like, and you're getting tons of story here. $20. I'll do that all day. All day. As opposed to, like, there are DC books that are $10 each for each comic. Now, granted, they're like a prestige style format, so they're a lot bigger of a book. They're almost like a magazine. But still very expensive. You know, for the price of 2 of those magazine books, you could get 1 Vinland Saga. That's a pretty thick, that's a thick boy right there. That's thick with 3 C's, boys. So, I'll go more into depth if I ever do a video or a review of it, because I would love to talk about Vinland Saga. If you guys thought I was going off on Northman, I can go off on Vinland Saga as well. The only manga I've ever read was Sailor Moon. Ooh, that's a good one. I loved that show so much growing up. Yeah, that's a great one. Gotta go. Oh, Roman, thank you for being here, man. Have a great night. And Max confirming dates with Melissa next week. We need to coordinate a Vegas or carpool. Good night, friends. Roman, we are definitely gonna talk about Vegas sometime soon, because I don't know if I'm gonna bring a car or not. It's not, you know, it's only what, 4 hours from us, something like that. So that's an easy drive, my man. And we'll have our car in Vegas, which would be so much easier. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Have a good night, dude. If you know Japanese history and culture, Japanese people can identify very much with the Vinland Saga. There are many stories of revenge and honor in their culture. 47 Ronin is a great example. Great, well said, Shieldwell. Well said. That's a huge book for $20, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Great price, and it's well worth it. Is there a place I can go to get specifics on the June and August meetups? Unfortunately, we don't have like a website or anything. When you tune into some of the live streams, there are dates and times and stuff like that. As of right now, we have no specifics other than dates. We don't have like locations or anything, and we don't have times. But if you want to start booking flights, that's what I'm doing. And then I'm just getting hotels that are near convention centers. So like for the June meetup, for the Comic-Con and all that, I'm just going to get a hotel near the convention. I'm going to get my flights between the 17th and the 19th, stuff like that, where I'm just going to generally be in that area. As far as Vegas goes, I would wait until we get more specifics, because once we find out which bar we're going to be at, or which venue or restaurant is going to have us, or even convention center, I mean, we're trying to make it as big as we can, you'll want to get a hotel that's near there, because last year I got a hotel that was super far from everything, and it was out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, and there were a bunch of crackheads on my on my street, and I was like, this is probably not the best place to be. Probably not the best place to be. Night, Roman. Have a good one, dude. Have you read the manga adaptation of the original Gundam series? What? Monopoly, message me on Instagram, dude. I have not seen that. The art is really good, and the story gets more context from the original anime. Anime. It's so good. Yeah, Monopoly, if you could message me on Insta, dude. I have not read that adaptation, but it sounds cool. I picked up a couple of number ones. Count Crowley, A Town Called Terror, and The Vampire Slayer. Nice, Michael. I will drive if I go to Las Vegas, and I don't mind being Uber. I take payments in tea. Lays, you might be smothered in tea if that's the case, because people are gonna hold you. People are gonna be asking for rides like crazy. Me personally, I do not want to be sober during that weekend. I want to constantly have a drink in my hand. Shieldwall says, cool, that's what I need. Locations and stuff for hotel bookings. Yeah, sorry, Shieldwall. I don't know the specifics for all of that, but I do know the dates. And I do know tickets for the Dallas Fan Expo are super cheap, dude. Like, you can get tickets for the whole weekend, like Thursday through Sunday, I think for like $120. $100 is a lot, but for 4 days at a convention, that's great. Sorry, just got here. Was avoiding this live because I didn't want to get spoiled for the Northman. We are done talking about that. Doviande se tovius again. But thanks for being here, man. So yeah, we are done talking about that. Hopefully you enjoy it. Gotta disappear for a bit later, everyone. Have a great night, Zach. Thanks for being here, dude. We're winding down anyway, so. All right. Well, I think that about does it, guys. I'm going to call it a night as well. We are well into the 2-hour mark, and I don't like to try and go too much over that. But thank you for hanging with me, listening to me rant about how much I loved Northman and how badass I thought it all was. Because, like I said, I probably loved this film much more than a lot of other people did, but maybe that's just because I felt so much more of an emotional connection with it, because I recognized it as the beautiful piece of artwork that it was, but it also resonated with me on an emotional level, and that you just can't beat that in a film. So, with that being said, we'll end with some of this. I'm gonna turn it up. We gonna turn it up, boys. All right, guys. With that being said, have a great night. We'll see you next week. We'll see you tomorrow on Salty's stream. And yeah, now that I've gotten everyone all hype, let's all go to the gym. Can't wait to see you guys in the next stream or in the next video. But yeah, love seeing everyone here in the chat. It's always a pleasure to be with such awesome people, with such great Raiders and Vikings. And all I'll say is, I will avenge you, Father. I will save you, Mother. And I will kill you, Folnir.